Hello, welcome to Pop Along RC. We are here at Schumacher Racing and we're going for a little bit of a tour. It's a nice top.
I know, it's good, isn't it? A Schumacher one, just like yours, but mine's got long sleeves. Yours is
Mine's a t-shirt, yours is a hoodie.
Yeah, which means only one thing, doesn't it?
It means we're fans of Schumacher.
We are, yeah.
We are indeed. Do you know what though? That does remind me. Can you remember back to earlier this year when you ran at the MKGP?
How can I forget it?
And I interviewed the main man, Mr. Robin Schumacher, and I may have made a reference to him being the Father Christmas of the RC world.
Yeah, he kind of is.
We have now been invited to go and see Father Christmas's workshop.
We certainly have. What will we see?
I don't know.
I'm well looking forward to
I
this.
can't wait. Let's go.
Come on then. Oh, hi there, it's Mark and Cole from Pop Along RC. We're here to see David, I think it is. That's the one. Thank you. Cheers, Tara, thanks. Right, are you filming?
I'm filming.
Unbelievable. Surrounded by boxes. This is the box section. Loads of stuff, tyres and bits and pieces here.
I'll tell you what, you need some spares.
Yeah.
They've got everything.
Yeah.
So we headed off to Northampton, to the centre of the UK's RC scene and the home of Schumacher RC Racing.
Yes, it's safe to say that British engineering is still strong.
It's unbelievable. And do you know what? When we arrived, it was made quite clear from the outset that we weren't allowed to have the cameras on all the time.
Correct, yeah, because there's some bits and pieces in there that they want to keep under wraps, and I get that. I get that. Yeah.
That being said, we did get to have a little walk around, have a look around. We did pass their R&D
Yeah, that was interesting.
department. That was quite nice. We got to see lots of things being made. The whole process, really, from manufacture all the way through to packaging and the end products, which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, do you know what was really interesting for me?
Go on, then.
Shall I show you something?
Go on, then.
It was how these wheels are made. We got to see how they're made, didn't we?
We do, indeed. Now, you kind of just think, oh, it's just a wheel, but the process in making those things, they're actually made in-house. And the plastic is put into like a giant hopper, and then that's sucked through to the system. It goes into an injection moulding machine, actually, which basically turns that to a molten liquid. It's injected into the cast, as it were, and then the cast separates, it falls out, and one wheel at a time slowly makes its way up the conveyor belt, and if you're lucky, right into our hands.
Absolutely right. So we got to see how those are made. Also, we saw their tyre man. There was a tyre man there, wasn't he? He was a tyre specialist. All your contact tyres. Foam tyres, I'm talking about.
They're not foam tyres though, are they?
No, they're not.
Now, we actually got to see the whole process of manufacture for the tyres and the rubber that those foam tyres are made out of.
Yeah, it was a really interesting procedure, wasn't it? So we saw that. What else did we see? They've got like a room where it's full of obviously trophies, because the Schumacher cars have done very well over the years and continue to do so.
Yeah, and that was where we spent most of our time, actually.
We certainly did.
Driven by Masami Hirosaka, who is that guy.
That guy there.
That guy just
I've heard of him.
just there. It's a young version of him.
Yeah.
Is that the same car in the picture?
That's that car. That's that
Car. You've got to touch it, Carl.
There you go.
Touch the
I've already been
And
touching
actually, and actually that's that trophy as well.
Oh wow.
So that's the world's winning trophy, and we've got a TQ one somewhere. So
That's amazing. And that's the
87 world's
actual
win.
car.
That's the actual
Wow.
car. Yep.
Wow.
And that's your first big win for
That was the first Worlds win, 1987 Worlds win. Yeah.
Wow. I remember them from years ago. What turn motor is this? Would you say?
Off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you.
What were they kind of running back then?
Don't know,
presumably modified of some sort.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Yeah,
it was probably something around like a 15 or 16.
Yeah. Wow. So that's the re-release, but yeah, it looks pretty identical with a few current upgrades, no doubt, in there somewhere.
A few little bits.
Yeah. So this one here is Chris Granger's.
This is national title.
National
I
title.
believe, if my memory serves me correctly, which it may not.
She
I'm
is.
old.
I thought I recognised the paint job there. Yeah. Again, so neat and tidy in there. Carl, were you watching how these cars are put together? Okay, take note.
Look at this soldering.
Look at the soldering,
Don't you
Carl.
start on my
Carl, look at the
soldering.
soldering. Look at the soldering. Oh, nice. And then this is the MI4 LP, which is what I started with.
Your first proper touring
Yeah,
car.
it was. Yeah, it was a great car. Loved it. Yeah, kind of wish I'd never sold it, really. But, you know, one in, one out, my wife says. I can't only have one at a time.
So that's Andy Murray's IFMAR Worlds winning. That's for stock.
Now
Wow.
that doesn't look
World's
like
winning.
anything I've seen before. Am I allowed to touch it?
You can.
You can't touch
That.
it.
Of course you can.
You'll give it bad luck.
Say that. Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice.
That is, isn't it?
I've only ever seen them with like the carbon fibre.
It gives it a bit of weight, doesn't it?
That's
And then this one here.
And this was the mod. This was Mark Reinhard, and he won. It was on the same weekend. IFMAR.
so they're pretty much running.
Pretty much the same car. I think there was a couple of little differences. Obviously motor size and things as well.
Yeah, sure. Wow.
But that's as they both came off. You can see here.
Wow. Hang on a minute. I've just spotted something hidden away at the top there. What is that up there?
Ah, that's our Dubai football car, that is. A big car to bring the football onto the pitch. And so we made...
Well, someone's got to do it.
So we made that. It was quite nice because we did it in such a way that we could hide the football in the car, and then the ref could just push the top and the lid came up and take the football out.
We saw some of Schumacher's very early prototypes and models
Yeah.
from Cecil, the main man.
And
behind
there
the
was
whole-
quite a few bits of Cecil's artistry, his creations in frames around the room. So we actually got to see the first ever cat.
Oh no, yeah, that was interesting,
That was
wasn't it? The
nice
first
little one.
like, yeah.
So it's actually slightly shorter than the newer cats, isn't it?
Yeah, it was quite nice to see the development as we were picking the cars up and looking at how the development process and to where it's kind of got now, if that makes sense. I was in awe. My head's still spinning because for me and you, who love RC, and you guys out there, it was just a great day, right? And that's Cecil there.
That's that car.
And if you can see in the picture, that is
The car being
that car there.
And no computers there.
No
You can see it's all
computers.
drawing board.
So a very, very talented man, obviously. Goodness me. Amazing.
I think the project they did with Lotus was very interesting. That was a nice looking car, wasn't it?
It was, wasn't it? And that was an
Was it
ice.
1/6 scale?
I think he said one. They said 1/6 scale. Obviously nitro, but that would be maybe that would be a good class to bring back, just with like
Imagine running that at West London.
Yeah,
It'd look awesome.
it
around
would,
that
wouldn't
track,
it? Yeah,
wouldn't
brushless technology and that stick a brushless setup, and that'd be good. But yeah, it was just really good to be in and around and to see how it all works.
I'll tell you what was also very interesting as we went around looking at the cars that they had there is the ones that they'd taken off to sort of like car shows and things like that, where they'd painted half the shell or they'd cut away areas of the design to expose the sort of the details. And you know, it's little things like that you just don't get to see in your local model shop, do you?
No, absolutely. I'll tell you something that really made me cast my mind back, and I almost had a tear in my eye because it reminds me of my dad, but I remember years ago, I was probably about 4. Actually, I started RCing when I was about 4. My dad used to take me to the local church hall, my dad and my brother, and we used to race really basic pan cars, right? And there was one in the Schumacher shrine, so to speak, and we were talking about, we used to put like silicone, you know, like bathroom sealant, basically. You used to put silicone on the tyres and put a pencil or a pen through the tyre, and you just used to roll it, and the silicone would be on there purely because there were no tracks back then. It was like church halls, and it was on wooden floor. And I'd forgotten all about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember it. And I remember the smell. So there'll be people watching this video and they go, yeah, I remember that. So I remember years ago, I was 13, I've worked this out, right? I was 13 years old, and I got for my 13th birthday from my mum and dad a Cougar 2-wheel drive buggy, which I raced every weekend. I think I wore that car out. It was the best, even to date. That was my best birthday present ever.
We won't tell the wife about that.
Don't tell the wife about that.
But that takes you back, doesn't it?
Massively, yeah. So we got to see Masami Hirosaka's winning car, right? The world's 1986, I think that was it
I
not?
still can't believe that. That was
We
the
picked it
actual
up,
car.
and the trophy. We had a look at the trophy, didn't we? That is like, for us, I was like, what? Amazing, right?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. And that paint scheme on that car has set a precedent for, I think it's the Riri.
The Riri, it's the box art for
The
the Riri.
box art,
Yeah, amazing to see. And actually, we got to have a look at the re-release next to the original World Championship winning car, which was awesome. And then we actually got to walk around, and obviously we've seen the manufacturing part of the factory, but then there was the sort of the packing and picking.
Yeah. Picking and packing.
Picking and packing.
Not packing and picking.
Picking
And packing. But, you know, we don't realise the attention to detail that even goes into that, right? You've got bags. You know when you take a kit apart, yeah, and you've got all these tiny little thrust race bearings and the balls for the different stuff. That has to be counted by somebody. It's not done by a computer or anything like that. These are people.
Counting balls into a bag.
Exactly.
I have got a slight issue with the Schumacher Atom 3.
Yes, you have.
Part of it is my driving.
Yeah.
Some of it might be my building of the car.
Yeah.
But there's definitely an issue with the radio gear that I've got running in it. So, the guys at Schumacher, obviously they want me to do well with that car. And they've asked me to test out a radio to go with it. But in order for that car to do as well as I think it should do, and as well as I think I can drive it, I hate to say this, but
go on.
Can you fix it for me?
When you say fix it, what do you mean?
Well, do you know what? Just take it away.
Take it away.
Sort it out.
Sort it out.
I've got myself a new ESC that I want to go in there.
Right.
Just tidy up the wiring so no one can complain about any weld soldering and anything like that. Sort it out for me and say, look, it's
no problem.
It's nearly August, so if you can maybe have that done by Christmas, that'd be awesome.
Done by Christmas. But like I always say, you can't rush perfection. I've told you that many times.
But I want to get the GT.
Leave it to old Marky boy. I'll sort it out for you. Yeah, I'll tidy up your wiring.
Sort out the wiring.
Because it's a mess, quite frankly. And you know what? Here's the thing, right? These good people know this. You can't just throw the wire in it. You can't just be an array of mess in that car.
Well, what I need you to do is, if I learnt anything from today's visit, it's down to the smallest details. And I am at times a bit of a bodger, and I need you to just take your time, sort the car out for me.
No problem.
And I'm going to get that back on the track and continue with my Atom 3 journey. It's going to happen.
Anyway, that was a little bit about our visit to the Schumacher factory. Thank you so much for those guys. They made us feel incredibly welcome, and I've learnt so much. My head's still...
I'm still like crazy excited about all the stuff that we've seen. We've been invited back as well. So we will definitely pop along again in the future. And there's a few cars that they talked about that might be coming out soon.
Whoa. You can't mention anything there.
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
No, don't talk about that.
Okay.
Anyway. You're not allowed to say anything, mate. These people...
They don't want to know anyway, do they?
No, they don't. Forget it. Anyway, come on, we got to go. I've got stuff to do.
You got my car to build.
Exactly.